Welcome to our weekly maritime vlog. I'm Corey Ransom with International Maritime Security Associates. This week, we are having a conversation about yacht logistics with James from Yacht Chandlers. So today we are joined on our vlog by James. He's the co-owner and vice president of Yacht Chandlers. They're based here in Fort Lauderdale. I've known James for a long time in the company Yacht Chandlers, and they have a really unique business. And I thought it'd be a great idea, as we're trying to do each week, to bring on someone else who's an expert in the industry to help give you guys information on how to get things done. So James, thanks for taking the time. I know we've had some technical difficulties. Really appreciate your time today. Give us an idea of what you guys do at Yacht Chandlers.
Well, thanks, Corey. You know, we've been in the mega yacht supply and support business for about 30 years. And the short version is that anything the yacht needs, we typically are supplying, whether it's fuel, food, engineering parts, deck, or interior. They're linked to coordinating, I guess, their parts and support needs. And many of the boats we deal with come and go from here, but the majority of our business is really worldwide. So shipping to them wherever they're at and operating, that's our business.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, is you guys have a unique perspective in the industry of kind of what we're going through with this COVID-19 outbreak, with a number of closures. So first, let's dial into from the domestic standpoint, working here in the United States. What are you guys doing, and how easy is it for you just here in the United States to be able to get supplies and parts to the boats?
Well, I must admit, it is painful. And it's not just the domestic side. I think regular, reliable vendors that could get stuff to us in 24 hours or 2 or 3 days, even domestic shipments, are taking longer. You know, everything is just taking longer, and that's complicated things. So a lot of the unique items that we buy for our clients are not always right here at your fingertips. You can only stock so much. And we also handle, as you know, the majority of our vessels are actually built in Europe. Mm-hmm. And that complicates things even more, because we're dealing with different voltages and pumps and specialty items. And that has been very difficult. I mean, the freight rates that we're used to handling have gone up over 3 times in the last 30 days. And so there's some people, if they've quoted you products delivered price, they're pushing the stuff out, not wanting to do it because it's going to cost them a lot of money. So it definitely has been difficult. The one thing I think has been a little unique in this situation, most of our customers are picky and specific about what they want, how they want, and where they want it. And I think they've been a little more flexible now based on, you know, the type of toilet paper they have to get, or the lotion they have to have, or the hand sanitizer brand they're used to buying. Now we're just trying to say, hey, let's get through this. Let's try to be reasonable in terms of pricing things, and things will get back to normal as the supply chain, you know, regulates and gets corrected.
So, and that's really interesting, because I've heard that, and not just in the large yacht industry, is kind of across the board. When you talk about whether it's, you know, helping yachts with the logistics, cargo lines, or cruise lines, it's like, hey, I would love to be able to get you XYZ brand of toilet paper, but right now I'm happy just to get you a roll of toilet paper. And I think people are being pretty flexible with that. So let's take a quick look at the international side of it. How are things as far as trying to move parts and work through the logistics when it comes to boats that are not here in the United States?
Well, that's difficult. I mean, even simple stuff to go to the Bahamas, there are days they're turned on and turned off. We got a lot of boats holed up in St. Martin, right? And I have American captains that are supposed to move boats and they can't get down there because they're in lockdown. And then you could get some supplies, but the boat can't move. And, you know, we're finding it difficult, but I think you just got to play it day by day. And my recommendation is just try to think forward what your plan's going to be flexible with the plan. And some of the guys have been really good about looking for good input and relying on people like us that are serving a lot of yachts. You know, we get sometimes that early intel people that came in on C1, D1 visas that are now struggling, that didn't have a B1, B2, and now can we get a B1, B2? And if they left, they can't get back in. So there's a lot of those complicating parts that I think are just changing day by day.
Right. And we've seen that. So a couple of weeks ago, we did a video about the changes in the B1, B2, C1D, and the extensions and things that were happening with Customs and Border Protection here in the United States. But we're seeing very similar, if not even stricter issues with getting crew members in and out of other countries. Right now, most countries, with the exception of, I would say, a handful, are in complete lockdown, where if you're not there, you're not going to get there and be able to catch up with your boat there. And so that's proving to be really, really difficult. What, from your perspective, what do you see kind of going forward over the coming months? What are you guys preparing for from a company perspective to continue to help service your clients?
We're trying to help them, I guess, maybe help them regulate their purchases a little bit. I mean, there's nothing worse than trying to buy 5,000 masks right now when the mask price is 5 times what it normally is. So I try to tell my clients, look, give me a projection of what you need, and let's try to fill the pipeline slowly, and that will cost less because it's all about supply and demand. We're trying to think about the next level of sanitization on boats, air quality management. We have a couple new products we've actually been selling for a while that are now working well. And trying to, I think what's going to happen is the owners are hopefully going to go use the vessels after this lockdown happens as a safe place to go vacation, which is what they should. But in order to do that, they are mandating the crew stay safe and sane and clean. And, I think that's going to change the process of how we have been operating. And I think it's going to be a little slow start, if not a difficult one in the Med. I think there's some boats that are going to stick around the U.S. a little longer, maybe take advantage of the Northeast or do the Bahamas. But, it's not going to just turn back on. It's going to take a little while because people socially are going to ease themselves back into it. That's my opinion,
Absolutely. And that's what we've heard echoed from a number of people that we've spoken with. When you're looking at travel, don't think that you're going to buy a ticket today to be able to travel tomorrow, and really start looking at planning ahead. And I know most of the folks that we've talked to, a lot of the partner companies that we work with, are talking to their clients along the same vein, is to say, hey, we are where we are today, but let's start planning for what the next few months looks like, so that it's not a million people trying to rush and do the same thing at the same time, and be able to kind of plan through that. Is there anything else or any other recommendations or anything that you'd like to add?
For our industry, I would say not necessarily. I think there's a lot of people are starting to think about new itineraries, more private destinations that are controlled to still give a good experience to the charter guest or the boss. And I think that we're going to find there's some things that maybe we were a little bit slow to respond on, and I think they're going to take advantage of, in terms of, I mentioned, sanitizing boats, and maybe the security side, which of course is your main business. I think that those things are going to change the process and the protocol, and maybe not in a bad way. It's just going to take a little time for people to change those things. And we're very thankful, I guess, that we're busy, and we've had to change our process a lot. Everybody's in masks and gloves and wiping down our vehicles every time they come in, and nobody's into our building or our warehouse, and that is a little more complicated. But we're happy to be working and serving the clients that we have, and I'm hoping that the season will just be different, but that everybody will come back quickly, and that we will have a strong season. That's what I'm hoping. But I think it's definitely going to be different. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, James, we appreciate you taking the time to have a chat with us today. This is really an interesting perspective that I know is going to help a number of the folks that view this. One thing that we're going to do is we'll have a link to your company website, and your main phone number will be listed down in our comments section below. So if people have questions, clients, need something that they can link right through to you guys, right through the video. And we apologize about the technical difficulties, but this is kind of how we're surviving day in and day out as we have this physical distancing. We want to be socially close, but physically distant.
Thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate all the viewers that we have on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you get notified when we post new videos. Hit that like button for all the content that you enjoy on this channel. Make sure you connect to us and join the conversation in our social media, detailed in the banner above and also in the comments section below. If you have questions when it comes to maritime security, maritime risk management, or maritime regulatory compliance, don't hesitate to reach out to the experts here at IMSA, because we're always happy to steer you in the right direction.